Hey, what's up YouTube? Doing something a little different today. Usually I have like Twitch content that I kind of splice up and throw it into YouTube, but this time we're gonna do something a little special. I've been doing this a long time, I've been doing this 10 years, so I figured why not share 10 things that are really, really important to me, 10 things I really, really care about. And if you stay till the end of the video, I got a little something for you guys. Let's get into it. And the first thing I care about are these beautiful Crocs. This is number one here. This is the first thing I care about. Okay, it's really random, I know, but Crocs are special to me. Why? Because I have them everywhere, all over the house. Anytime I need to step outside or whatever, this is what I'm wearing. Also, don't have a driver's license, but I do drive my golf cart. Do it with the Crocs. I can show you guys some of my gibbets here with my Crocs. I got loaded gibbets, I got marble gibbets, I got cute little cats. Yeah, lots of cats, actually. I love cats. Next on the list, we got coffee, okay? I'm a big coffee guy, and I know that says I'm more of a tea guy. This is a mug that I got when I joined Sentinels. Dapper, he loves tea. I also love tea. Funny enough, I started with tea. And then when I turned like 17 or 18, I kept seeing my dad drink coffee. And I was like, dude, I gotta try this. Like, I'm drinking tea right now. We gotta upgrade to the adult stuff. So I tried his instant coffee at that time. Delicious, fell in love instantly. And ever since then, that is literally just, I always start my morning with coffee. Every time I was at a tournament playing for Cloud9, every time I was there, pregame with some coffee, drink it when I'm live. I love it, I'm addicted to it. It's a problem. Is it? Next up on the list, PC. So how I first got into PC gaming was my dad. My dad introduced me to games like Medal of Honor and Counter-Strike. That's kind of like my segue into first-person shooters. We would always like do 1v1s or like just compete against one another, and it was really, really fun until I started beating him, and then it was not fun for him anymore. Once we kind of were done with all that, my dad stopped kind of playing, but he kept helping me build these computers. So he kind of taught me how to build the PCs. I was always really scared to build my own computer until he finally kind of helped me, and then I ended up doing it myself. And then once I started doing it myself, I was like, oh, this ain't so bad. And then you get a little bit older, and you're like, okay, this is starting to take a lot of time. There's a lot of troubleshooting here. Let's look into some pre-builts. So then I did some exploring, found a couple different pre-built companies here and there. Wasn't particularly too happy with the customer service and stuff that I got from these pre-builts until I eventually landed on Main Gear, which I now co-own, which is fantastic. And once I found Main Gear, literally everything changed. From when I found out about Main Gear like 6 years ago, I think it was, just kept buying, always bought Main Gear, always. Now I co-own a part of Main Gear. So it's just amazing. It's everything a gaming enthusiast could ask for, really. Next up on the list that I care about, watches. So this is the first watch that I ever got, and I got this watch in Dubai, and I was there for a tournament with Cloud9, and I don't normally really spend on anything, you know, I just buy nice computers. That's like the only thing I really spend on. Jordan, my teammate at the time, convinced me to buy a watch. And I was like, yeah, actually, you know what? My dad loves watches. I could get into watches, yeah, sure. So I walked into an Omega store. That was the first store that I went into, and I had a peek around, and I bought this watch. And this watch means a lot to me because it was a really special moment. I was in Dubai, never been there before, kind of like thinking about where I came from and all these different tournaments that I've been to and where I'm gonna end up going, right? So the watch was the biggest individual item I ever spent money on. And it was a really, really big moment for me at that time because that was kind of like the start of my career. I was competing with Cloud9. I was in Dubai, just couldn't believe I was here, and my team kind of supported me and said, yeah, you know, buy something nice for yourself. Like, you got a big future ahead of you. And at the time I was like, big future ahead of me? Like, bro, I just play video games. But looking at it now, I did have a big future ahead of me, and now I can afford to buy watches like this, and I can afford to honestly do whatever I want. And I never thought I'd be here from gaming, you know, and that a lot of that comes from you guys. A lot of that stems from you guys. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here, you know, my career wouldn't exist. So thank you guys for that. Ever since I bought this watch, I usually buy watches for like a celebration of some sorts, right? I bought a watch when I was playing with Sentinels. This was a weird one. I bought a watch because a viewer told me to buy it and they donated for it, and that was like a whole thing. So every watch that I purchase has some sort of story. And then this watch is the watch that Hannah got me for my 30th birthday. This Omega 007 watch that Hannah got me was the most interesting watch case I've ever seen. It usually just comes in a box and you open it up and you're like, oh, sweet, a watch. This one came in a nice like leather pamphlet, really, and you open it up and it feels like, I don't know, it felt really cool, I guess. I've never seen Omega do that, so it was really cool. My gaming mouse made it on this list because gaming mice are literally like the most crucial part of a PC gamer. And it goes back to literally one of my first mice that I used from Logitech, actually. I believe it was a G5 or a G9. It used to be when you could like take the shell off of your mouse and swap it with a different one. They were like interchanging. That was the same time when the MX518 was really, really popular. I was never too into the MX518. The design was a little too bulky for me. So now with Logitech, I've been sponsored with them for years. Now we have made my own mouse, the G303 Shroud Edition. This is a mouse that I made, and we worked with Logitech for a very, very long time to make this mouse happen. And it was just amazing. I never thought I would be in a position to be making my own peripherals, let alone my own mouse. I used to be younger when I would, think of all these different players who were getting their own peripheral lines and they were able to create their own stuff. I never thought I would be in that position, but with Logitech, we made it happen. We made a Shroud mouse come to life. Literally, they were able to perfectly mold my exact grip. I have a relatively light claw grip that I do, and you can see it when you use the G303. I'm really proud of how this mouse came out. Working with Logitech was amazing. Never thought that this would happen. It's a dream come true. Also, if you're interested in any Logitech products, you can use code Shroud for 5% off. You guys may have noticed that I'm always wearing a necklace, and this necklace means a lot to me, and this is why I put this on this list. The necklace that I'm wearing is a Polish eagle that my grandfather bought for my mom, and then my mom passed it down to me. So it has like a really, really deep history, and it's been around for so freaking long. I don't leave home without it. I get up out of bed, it's the first thing I do. I get out of the shower, put the necklace on. That's literally what I always do, and that's why you'll always see me wearing it. I personally kind of lost the Polish language a little bit, which I'm a little bit disappointed in. But yeah, this is kind of like my Polish culture, heritage, kind of with me everywhere I go. Next on the list, World of Warcraft. As you can see, I'm holding a giant sword. This is the Frostmourne that Arthas uses, and this was a really, really big expansion for me. I actually just played through it again with World of Warcraft Classic. World of Warcraft has literally been a part of my life forever, honestly, since 2005. I started playing from the beginning. It's kind of how I met a lot of my friends. We all would just have LAN parties. They'd come to my place, I'd go to theirs. We would just literally grind World of Warcraft all freaking night. With that, World of Warcraft and Blizzard always had stuff like this that you could buy. But at the time I was too young, I could never buy it. But now, because of you guys, check this out. But for real, World of Warcraft does mean a lot to me. Like I said, I've been playing it since 2005, still playing it to this day. Probably gonna be playing it when I'm 60 years old. I'm gonna keep grinding. It's fun. You got so many factors that you never see in like first-person shooters, which is what I'm mainly known for. You don't get the same vibe from there. You don't get the large-scale guild or community with a lot of people all trying to achieve one freaking goal. The cinematics and following the story of World of Warcraft has always been super, super fun for me. Even before World of Warcraft, we all played Warcraft, right? I would also have all these custom games that I'd set up, played Dota All-Stars on Warcraft. So it was just a no-brainer that I was gonna play World of Warcraft, and I don't think I'm ever gonna stop. Next thing on the list is a pretty big one. It's collectibles. Collectibles ranging from just the most nerdy things to, games, to board games, to comics, to whatever. So I get a lot of my collectibles from Sideshow, from the Blizzard store, like this Diablo one. I have Warhammer that I like to collect and paint over here. Got my Warhammer collection. I got a huge board game collection. Oh man, the list goes on and on. I have Batman, I got Bane, I got Darth Vader, I got the Infinity Gauntlet. I even have tons of posters, which I guess kind of count as collectibles too. I have a signed autograph and drawn out Spider-Man from Stan Lee. That's a really, really big one. I have Avengers poster where I have all of the Avengers that signed as well. Last year for my birthday, I also got a life-size Iron Man statue statue from Hannah. She, every year, just keeps up in the ante on gifts, I swear. We have so much space to fill. Even when all of those spaces are gonna be full in this house, I will still buy them because I can't stop. It's a problem. I literally, every time I see a cool collectible, I have to buy it. I have to buy it, and I'll make room somewhere at some point in this house for any collectible. The most important part of this list is Hannah. So we've been together for, I don't even know, I'm losing track of time, 5-6 years. We met on Rainbow Six Siege. That game has a very special place in my heart, and I feel like I'm always gonna play Siege because of me and her meeting. Every time I'm gonna play Siege, she's gonna play with me. Some of the best memories I had in that game because of her. She literally does everything for me. Honestly, I just show up and I just game, and she's doing everything else behind the scenes. On top of Loaded, of course, everybody's kind of helping me out, but Hannah's the one facilitating all of that. Yeah, seriously, I owe a lot of my streaming career to her, because without her, I would just be locked up in a room, kind of not really branching out, not even doing stuff like this, you know, doing this video. I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for her. She kind of opened me up and helped me learn about myself, really. I love her, and I hope we're together forever. Forever, Hannah, you hear me?
Forever.
We're gonna be together forever.
I made the list.
Yeah, you made the list.
Thanks,
You made the list. You made the list, of course. Hannah
You should
Banana.
tell them about the time that you proposed to me with an AirPod.
What the hell?
Speaking of being together forever, one time we were laying in bed and Mike decides to open the drawer of the nightstand next to him, and he looks at me and he says, "Hannah, will you marry me?" And he does this, and inside is just one singular AirPod.
Yeah.
And, we
I
both laughed and
yeah, I
went to
tend
sleep.
to do that a lot. Maybe one day there'll be
Mike's
a
like a
real
troll.
there'll be a real proposal.
With 2 AirPods, maybe.
Last on the list is Twitch. Twitch is super, super important to me. Twitch has kind of started really everything. Without Twitch, I wouldn't have any of this. I wouldn't have you guys watching and supporting me, and I wouldn't be able to stream. And where I started with Twitch was being a viewer like you guys. You know, I started watching people like Summit, Lyric, Sacriel. I'd watch them play DayZ, I'd watch them play all these games, but I didn't have the internet speed at the time because Canadian internet is always a step behind for some reason. Anyway, I couldn't keep up, so I just had to sit there and watch until finally one day we had it upgraded and I could finally stream. So I mentioned how I started on Twitch by watching streamers play DayZ. Summit was one of them, and there was always all these stream snipers that you'd see on his stream, but they're always super, super malicious, and they were always there to grief him. And I was like, yeah, you know, this seems kind of fun. I could see the stream sniping appeal, but I wasn't there to grief him. I was just kind of there to help him. So I did stream snipe him a long freaking time ago, where I would just kind of run up with him and I just pretended that I was someone that didn't know them, and I just wanted to kind of group up casually. You know, I was playing it innocent, and then I ended up gaming with them for a little bit. They were helping me out until I inevitably got shot in the head, and I never ever bumped into him again. And then years later, I got my first raid from Summit. I remember that vividly. Summit raided me, and he doesn't really raid many people often. So when he raided me at the time, I believe it was 2014 that he raided me. I was playing Elder Scrolls Online, and I will literally, like, vividly always remember that because in 2014, I had good viewership. Yeah, I had a couple hundred viewers here and there. I had more when I played Counter-Strike, but when I played different games, it would drop, you know, under 1,000 or whatever. So when he raided me with like 20,000 people when I was playing Elder Scrolls Online, that was a big moment. And yeah, I'll just never forget being raided by him. And it's still, to this day, 10 years later, still a huge part. I still go live every single day. And on top of that, I'm also, every second that I'm not live on Twitch, I'm also watching people on Twitch. Speaking of Twitch, if you made it this far to the video, I'm gonna be launching my 24/7 live stream channel. I did it. I've been streaming for like 10 years, been doing this a long time, and I have so much content.
I am the best.
True.
I've never lost a
True.
game ever.
True. I literally don't know what to do with it, so this 24/7 channel is that.
I'm so nervous.
Not dead. Everybody run.
Yeah.
That was insane. Fluffy Ace.
Shroud. We're gonna fill that channel with loads of content, memories, all the things that we've done in the past, fun giveaways that we might do. You might see fun secret content creators maybe show up on stream. Maybe they stream from the Shroud channel, surprise for like 30 minutes to an hour. I might show up just to spice it up. And you guys know that I play a lot of games, and I do play a lot of games off stream, World of Warcraft being one of them. That might be a game I might sneakily surprise on there, you know, for the people who want to watch that different kind of content. Thank you guys for watching. This was an unusual one for me. If you guys want to see more, let me know in the comments. I can't believe I'm 30. I'm that old. Did someone just bark? Yoni, are you barking for my 30th? You are the most pathetic dog I've ever heard.